So the bus driver thinks it's appropriate for my 10-year-old who just turned 10 to sit with her little sisters and brothers who are 5 and 6 to babysit them on the school bus. I'm talking about the school bus instead of her sitting with her friends. Um, you know, I I feel like that's inappropriate of a bus driver to place an older child with a younger child. And some of these kindergarteners are placed with not not even their siblings but older kids because she seems to not be able to handle uh the job, and it's a difficult job. I get that. I really do. I get that. My problem is that my daughter gets really anxious. Her brother and sister are 4 years younger, 4 and 5 years younger than she is, and it's really not her responsibility to sit there and babysit, her younger sister and brothers. To keep an eye on them, sure, sure. Keep an eye on your sister and brother, make sure that they're being safe. And, I think that's normal. But to sit there and have to babysit them instead of being with your age group, your grade level, your friends, and it's just, it's like a rite of passage. Most kids here wait until they're in fourth and fifth grade to sit in the back of the bus, rather with all the younger kids in front of the bus. Here fifth grade is our cutoff point before sixth grade is middle school. When I was a kid, it was sixth grade, then off to junior high, and here it's different. I didn't grow up here in this area at all. I did grow up in the state, but I moved further into the country rather than the city, the Seattle area. Um, After I started having kids, I moved, closer to the country and the mountains, and so I can get to the mountains as well as the city. I've worked in Seattle, and all that, but needless to say, you know, um, yeah, I just felt like it was. And then, like this morning, I had this conversation with the bus driver, and it's different for every kid. Every family's different. For my oldest daughter, it's overwhelming and it gets her anxious, and then it's hard to get her to calm down and do her homework. And so I had this conversation with the bus driver, and the bus driver wants to, it's not the first time I've had to sit down with the bus driver and have a conversation and really advocate for my child's well being, her needs, and to articulate what she needs and what she's feeling. And and have her articulate it to me so I can advocate it for her, and also give her the power to, or the encouragement I should say, to let her know, talk about how, her feelings and what she will and what she won't do. And that sometimes it's okay to argue um with adults when you feel like you're arguing for something and standing on principle, or when you're arguing for something that's right. I've taught my kids to always question, do not follow, they always teach you to stand in line and follow the person in front of you. For me, it's like, yeah, there's certain times where we have to follow rules. At school, it's the structures, environment, but, it's okay to ask questions. Question why if you feel like something's wrong, and question what you're doing. And in that sense, you're um, questioning everything and coming up with your own opinion, and whether it's right or wrong. You better, like, question and stand on principle, or you're gonna just fall for everything. So I'm a firm believer in it's okay to question authority respectfully. Um, and I taught my kids that, and I continue to do so. And this bus driver, like many other bus drivers, like to get defensive and put the blame back on the parent. And this morning, before I told my daughter, if she places you with your brother and sister, as soon as my daughter got on that bus, she closed the door. And I'm all like, okay, this, like, I'm starting to get a little upset here. And I see my daughter walk back and then walk up to the bus driver. I told my daughter, if she places you with your younger brother and sister, get off the bus and I'll drive you. Um, and, if it's going to be that anxious for you, until we figure out a better solution, and part of me wants to say, just work through it, and kind of face it and work through it. And today she had to do that because the bus driver slammed the door on me, or shut the bus doors on me, and all she did, and I'm saying, excuse me, and she's knowing I want to communicate with her, to talk with her, but all she does is wave and smile and drives off. Like, that's crossing a line to me, and it made me very upset. My daughter, if she wanted to get off the bus, she didn't even have the opportunity to get off the bus. The driver wants to hold that power over the parents, over, the well being of the kids. Just, some people aren't meant to work with kids. And I knew at the beginning of the year that we were going to have a problem with this bus driver. We get frequently new bus drivers, like, every year almost. Yeah, we've had about 4 or 5 different bus drivers. And so today I had to call her supervisor, I told him, I'm not speaking for all the other kids with younger siblings. I'm speaking for my kids and my oldest daughter. And I'm not asking a lot. And also for her to just slam the doors on me, and drive off and smile like it's funny, like, oh, I have the power even though they're your kids. Like, what kind of crap is that? I mean, how do you guys feel about this? Do you let your kids ride the school bus? Isn't it, like, I don't always have the option to drive them. And so this was something that, I'm going to fix. Like, there better be a resolution. And I will raise, you know, I will raise hell, okay, until I feel like something, until it is resolved for my kids. And school buses in elementary, there's many problems. Second of all, for an older kid to sit with a kindergartner, that's inappropriate. That's a big problem. That's a big problem for me. And especially if it's not family, that's a problem. That's a problem. And there's age appropriate groups. That's why there's grade levels and all that. And if they are understaffed, I even offered to volunteer to go on the bus, okay, and have someone pick me up afterwards. I would go on the bus and I would volunteer. Like, and, if you're short staffed, maybe there should be assistants. Like, there's assistant teachers, it's the whole situation. School buses, are they safe? Are they safe in elementary school? Are they safe in middle school? Here we don't have school buses for middle school or high school, just elementary. In the area I live in this small country. Well, it's not really that small to me, but people call it a small town. Um, uh, but yeah, and I try to keep in mind it's a short distance to school, especially in the mornings. It's a short ride. After school, it's a little bit longer of a ride due to the route or whatever. Um, but what's your guys' opinion? Um, Comment and uh, I don't know. What's your guys' advice? You guys have the same problem with bus drivers? How would you feel if you were put in that position? What would you do? I have gone up to if it's not resolved with the bus driver supervisor, it's gonna be the superintendent of the school district. And it's quite frustrating. It's going up the chain of command to get your needs met, your child's needs met. Every child is different, and it's frustrating that, you want to just drive off without communicating. That was today. I'm just reading that in reference today. Like, she didn't have the chance. She took that freedom of choice away from my daughter to either get off the bus if she wanted to, and for me to ask if things have been resolved on the bus. And that's frustrating. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?